comparing yourself to others can really be detrimental to your health. And I feel like that's one of the bad things about social media and always being online. You have to really be cautious and careful. And sometimes it can just happen naturally. You know, you may not be technically seeking to compare yourself, but it just happens, right? I've been making a lot of these videos on like some real life stuff because a lot of this stuff I have went through personally, and I felt it. So I know the feeling personally as well. But I'm here to tell you that, trust me, everybody has their own route in life. Everybody has to go about things differently. Everybody will not go by the same path, right? On social media nowadays, a lot of people like to put up a facade. Now, I'm not saying that everybody on social media is living a fake life. No, you really don't know what people got going on. And that's one of the important things to take note of, is just because somebody may look like they're living an amazing life and they're the same age as you, and you feel like you're the opposite, you're living a very bad life, or you're just not where you want to be in life, but somebody of your age is, or even better than where you want to be. You don't know what they went through. You don't know what battles they're facing. You don't know what they had to sacrifice. You don't know what they're still sacrificing or what they have to do to maintain or even get to where they're at in life. And one of the things to keep note of is not everybody is going to be rich. Not everybody's going to be poor. Not everybody's going to live in middle class. Not everybody has to work a 9 to 5. Not everybody will be able to be born into a family where you inherit an inheritance. You know what I mean? There are some people who are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, never have to work a day in their life. There are some people who were not born like that. And, you know, they get online on YouTube or something, make a viral video, and next thing you know, they're rich. They never had to work a 9 to 5. They never had to sacrifice in that regard. But just because somebody was able to achieve those things doesn't mean they didn't have their own battles that they had to face, or their own things that they had to go through. And that's what's so important about not undermining others, right? But at the same time, you have to remember to walk your own path, and you have to remember that you're going to go through things that maybe somebody else may not go through. You know, there are multiple routes to success, right? You can grind your way to being rich, whereas the next person can be born into being rich, whereas the next person can just get lucky by hitting the lotto. You know what I mean? And everybody just gonna have their own route in life. And when you sit there and you compare yourself to others, it can bring negativity to you, and for some people it can bring motivation to you. But I feel like at the end of the day, you shouldn't compare yourself, because again, not everything is for everybody. You can see somebody in a happy marriage. You don't know what they're going through. You can see somebody who's single and they're happy, right? Not everybody will get married. Not everybody will be single, right? That's why it's very important to just do you and try to live life the best that you can possibly live it, up to your own standards. You know, what you may think is a good life is completely different than what somebody else may think is a good life, you know? And so that's one bad thing about social media. You always got these people online who are saying you should do this, or you need to do that, or, you know, they have all these Lamborghinis and this big old house, and they have a pool full of money. And again, I wouldn't really worry about it as long as you're happy and you're content in your life. And, you know, if you're not, you can try to do things that could change that going forward. But you have to keep in mind that your way to success may be different from everybody else's way to success. And to me, comparing yourself to other people is pointless, because sometimes it could just bring you down, that you aren't where you want to be. And another thing is, you're not alone. You know what I mean? Like me, as the making of this video, January 4th, 2026, I'm 28. I'll be 29 in a few months, still living with my parents, right? I'm working a job that I'm not too happy with. You know, I get about 5 to 6 hours a day. You know, I would think that I would be somewhere else. I'm still dealing with getting my heart broke from somebody who I cared for. And I got all this stuff going on in my mind. But at the end of the day, I'm still trying to look at it at a good note. And I'm not comparing myself to nobody else, because I'm on a different road. I'm on my own road. And when I was young, I used to tell myself and some of my close friends that by the time I hit 24, I want to be married, I want to have kids, and I want to have me a house. Well, hey, look, I'm going on 5 years too late. I mean, it's never too late, right? Let me not say it's too late, because in life, nothing is ever too late. You just have to want to work for it and be able to get there. And some people are lucky, and some people have to put in a little bit more work. But really, it just goes down to, of course, your mindset, and just making sure that the only thing that you compare is to yourself. You don't need to compare to other people at all, because again, it's pointless. There's no point, because everybody got their own route and their own thing that they got going on. Different circumstances call for different outcomes at different times. This is why I hate, like, for example, when it comes to health, right? People automatically think, oh, well, you need to do this or you need to do this. Some things work for other people. I like being on a keto diet. I have friends, the keto diet doesn't work for them. You know, they just don't like it. It does not fit them. And that's okay. Everybody's different. So I say that to say this: everything is going to be okay. You have to look at it as if the universe has other plans for you. Just because you're not in a particular position at a particular age doesn't mean it's the end. It doesn't mean you're doing bad. There's no blueprint to success in life. Some people act like they have all the answers and they're Mr. or Mrs. Know-it-all, but they don't. We learn as we go, and we can learn from others as well who's been through it. So pay attention to those who you're around as well, and take notes for what you can take notes for. Everybody's just trying to go on about it in their own way and trying to make it up as best as they possibly can. And that's all we really can do. Life is crazy nowadays. Keep that in mind. Look, we're gonna make it. We're gonna get through. Trust me. Don't compare yourself to others. If you're gonna compare yourself to yourself. And as long as you believe, trust me, you will get there.
Stingy, my regime's above all when compared to me. I don't like to do no talking if it ain't a beat. I'm all about my elevation, so I stay on feet to raise it up.